Hi, Stephanie with Posh Puppy Bootcamp, and these are the FAQs. FAQ number one. FAQ number one is, what kind of food am I supposed to be feeding my dog? And the quick and simple answer is Nutrisource Puppy chicken and rice with wholesome grains. Now, it's a purple bag, and you're going to actually have several days of food in your go home kit that Michelle provides when your puppy comes home. But if you want to have it ahead of time, you can order it from petflow.com, or you can look up the Nutrisource website and find out which retailers near you sell it. Just call ahead and make sure that they still sell it. Sometimes they discontinue it and don't keep up with their website. FAQ number two, my vet says my puppy has a hernia. Is that a big deal? Hernias are extremely common, and they come in varying degrees. If your vet said you have a hernia on your puppy, it's probably because our vet has already determined that there was a hernia there and that it wasn't a big enough deal to warrant anything other than a perfectly good puppy health certificate. Most hernias close on their own before 6 months of age, and if by 6 months, when you're ready to spay or neuter, the hernia hasn't closed, they can do a quick little stitch and repair it. FAQ number three, I saw blood in my puppy's poop. Oh my gosh, what do I do? If you're sure it's really blood and not just the fuzz of a red toy, then definitely just keep an eye on it. It's probably no big deal, and I don't want to suggest that you shouldn't go to the vet, but I will say that it happens all the time with my dogs, and all I do is monitor. Just give them a few more poop sessions, and if you're not still seeing blood, it probably means that they just ate something that was rough enough to create a little tear, and that's all it was. Keep an eye on it for several days, and if it's not getting worse, you're probably fine. My puppy is pooping 3 and 4 times a day. Is this normal? This is our FAQ number 4, and it is, yeah, the answer is yes. They do poop 4 and 5 times a day, and really that's a good thing. As they mature, that will slow down some, but it takes a good 6 months. They are little poop machines, and it's a good thing that they do because it means that pretty much every potty outing is going to produce both types of potty. So it leaves you feeling a little less confused about whether or not they really need to go. Chances are good they probably need to go, especially right after they've eaten. So one of the reasons we recommend feeding in the crate is because they probably need to go poop, or at least feel a little bit of an urge immediately after they eat. And if they're in their crate, it forces them to hold their bowels, which is great experience for them. And then that means when you take them out, they're going to go right away. So give them a good 30 minutes after if you've seen that they've wiped out their food, you can count from about 30 minutes that they're really going to need to get outside after that. So make sure that your feeding times are early enough in the time that you've allotted that you're not going to have to leave right after feeding them. FAQ number 5 is, my puppy is suddenly having regression in the potty training area. It's been 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere around there, and my puppy is now having issues all of a sudden. Well, this is totally normal, and it's absolutely expected. Remember, 3 days to feel safe, 3 weeks to feel like you're their person, and 3 months before they feel like your space is their space. So really, it's a good 3 months that it takes them to claim your space. Once it's their space, they will respect it a little bit more. So give yourself a good 3 months of expecting some potty accidents, and know that regression usually means that they are just about to turn the corner. So it's kind of like they have a freak out right before they finally give in and say, okay, it's me and you, we're in this and we're good for the long haul. And number 6 is, well, I'm just gonna tell you what the answer is. No matter what your question is, the answer is probably that you need to reward the right behavior and stop focusing on the bad behavior. Here's what I mean. Scolding a dog's negative behavior can often just confuse them. It's much more effective for you to focus on rewarding good behavior. But that's tricky because good behavior means that you have to be paying really close attention. Bad behavior is easy to spot and it always gets your attention, but good behavior is really easy to overlook. So when your puppy is doing the right thing, when you're sitting next to him and he is simply sitting next to you, being such a good dog and playing with an appropriate toy, that's when you need to reward them. You need to give them, it doesn't have to be a trick or some magic thing that they produce that causes you to reward them. You just want to tell them, good dog, when they're being really still, really calm, doing the right thing. When they're quiet in their crate, give them a treat and say, good, quiet. When they're sitting nicely in the car next to you, let's say you're comfortable unzipping the bag and you don't want them to jump out and try to get into your lap and they're just sitting there, that's when you need to reward them. So focus on the positive behavior, the good thing that they're doing, and reward that. It just takes a lot of focus and a lot of awareness, and stop focusing on the negative behavior and it will completely right itself.